Good morning and a massive welcome to Carnation Crafts. We are live in the Carnation Crafts studio, and as always it is wonderful to have your company that we launched this week. So it is a brand new collection. It's stunning. It's got a gorgeous card shape, so that frosted oak that you can see at the top there is absolutely stunning. The number for this is 221201. That's your sort of order number, if you like. And you get that from the Carnation Crafts website, which is that's Nigel May in my head there. www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. The postage is free on this. The main item is $124.99. Now, it would normally be $162.92. We've got a show price of $124.99. However, there is a code you can use, which is GOWCC10. If you put that in at checkout, you're going to get another 10% discount. So it's going to take, I can't remember what we said it was, Taz. Was it 112? 112.49 it'll take it down to. So it is a complete bargain. But obviously the prices do go back to their normal price on the website, and that code is specifically for this collection. So now's the time to get it with that code. It's all going to work in conjunction with each other. I'm going to get Sharon to go through the boards with all of this, but before I do that, I just want to have a talk about the perfect papers, because for every Carnation Crafts collection that comes out, there is artwork which is called a vignette. The vignette is painted in-house and coloured in-house, and all of the colours that are used are then put forward for these perfect papers, so they go perfectly with everything, nothing can clash. These ones are stunning. That red is absolutely gorgeous, and you'll see Sharon using the colours today. They are just incredible. Now, your perfect papers, it's cardstock, it's 300 GSM, you get 6 colours, there's 8 of each, so you're getting 48 sheets in total, so it's a big pack of papers. In the UK, they're $14.99 with a $2.95 postage on them if that's the only thing you're buying. Carnation do a blanket free P&P for any order off the website, regardless of what that is, if it's over £50. So you're always going to get free P&P. If you're in the USA, your shipping and handling for the main collection would be $4.95. If you want to add in the perfect papers, it's going to be $14.95. That'll get the whole lot over to you. If you want to change the perfect papers and you wanted, say, Pro Print or the 350 Smooth, you can swap it. Just let Carnation know, they'll swap it out, make sure it gets to you, and they'll keep the shipping and handling at the same price, but it does only cover you for 1 pack of cardstock. So now we've got all that out. The other thing is, as I was saying yesterday, but it is important, it's not just the USA that Carnation ship to. They will ship kind of globally, so just have a word with them if you want it to go somewhere else. I'm just going to say hello. Good morning, Pam Simpson. Pam Simpson is one of our very talented DTs. She says it's a bit cold. My wheelie bin was frozen shut this morning. Good morning, Karen Vincent. Good morning, Pam Lillington. Hello, Suzanne Page. Yeah, it's really cold. It's not good, is it? We don't like the winter. So the Glamour of Winter. What is the Glamour of Winter about? Well, it is all of those frosted scenes. So we've got the frosted berries. We've got that beautiful leaf. I'm very much in love with that, Sharon. I love the leaf.
Me too.
And Sharon and I have just been obsessing over the berries because they're stunning. Wait till you see them. They're so pretty. But for me, it's always going to be things like the facet spray and the crystallized wisp that really take my heart, because they're the ones I use all the time. We did go through those, so you can see it on there. And more importantly, this little jobby. That is going to change all of your card making, because you've now got a mechanism to make a pop-up card every time you make a card. And that's just such a bonus to have. It's a massive boon. Now, it's sold very fast. As far as I know, they do still have some individuals of the pop-up mechanism. But if that's something that you want, you kind of need to be fast, because it's going to go. So there will be an individual for that, which is 221209. If that's the only thing that you want, I would advise you to go as soon as you can with that, because I'm not sure when they'll restock as it stands. So that is something you would need to get as soon as you can. The main collection, though, you save your most money by getting the main collection, obviously, and then you pay for papers with it. Right, Miss Sharon. Miss Sharon. We got Miss Sharon in the house. We like having Miss Sharon in the house. She's going to go through all of the boards with you, and then Sharon's going to take you through some demos. She's been very fancy pants. She came with a suitcase of things this morning to make it all shiny and beautiful, and she's going to play with those today and show you different ways of playing, so you get a massive broad view of this collection. So Sharon, the boards.
Yes, the boards. And I think this is one of my faves. The thing about this collection really that I was drawn to actually when I first saw them were the berries and this.
Yeah.
And I just love the way that it looks like crunchy icy glitter. Just really, really, really pretty.
It does feel like you could crunch it up.
Yeah, it does. It really does. So this is your card shape also, which is fabulous. So you've got your mats and layers here. So this can be your card base. You've also got all these extra elements. Love the fact that you've not only got the mirrored vignettes, but you've also got them facing each way as well. So you're really covered here.
Yeah.
Love the colourway of this. And of course, it's going to tie in with all the perfect papers and everything else. I think the colours of this collection really appealed to me. They're kind of rich and just beautiful. Love also the way that the colour's sort of a bit of an ombre. It's lovely and white at the top, and then it goes down to this lovely purple. Really delicate as well, this skeleton leaf. So yeah, I think this and the berries are my absolute favourites.
Just stunning. I said yesterday, but I will just very quickly say, if you're cutting that leaf out, to use cut tidy. It does help because you've got so many tiny pieces in there. It just makes your life a lot easier if you whack a bit of pin flare. Wrong word. Cut tidy.
Yes, I must admit I cut one without thinking about it, and then
Regretted
to poke all the bits out. So yeah, cut tidy is definitely a friend with that one. So that's the first one. That's the oak leaf. Now we've got your lovely pop-up element. And for me, anything interactive that involves mathematics or measuring is not for me. So to have this done for me, and I was really shocked because I opened this and thought, oh no, my brain, how does this work? And it's so simple. Really simple. And of course, this isn't just for this collection. You're going to be using this all the time. It's very simple to put together, even for someone like me who is very averse to anything that involves my brain. You literally pop your tabs through, glue them, and you're done. I know Carla's gone through it properly and demoed it.
Yeah, if you do want an absolute full rigorous demo of that, by the way, we did it with Davy B. So that was Tuesday, Taz.
First show on Tuesday.
First show Tuesday.
You just look for Launch Day Part 1.
Launch Day Part 1 on YouTube. On that note, sorry Sharon, I'll be 2 seconds. If you're on YouTube looking for that tutorial, please do hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. It helps us spread our message further as far as that's concerned, because the more people that interact with it, obviously the further the video spreads, so we can get it out to more of the Carnation army. But also it means you're getting notifications when we go live. There's lots of plans for Carnation. And for all of that, we won't necessarily be able to heavily advertise everything on social. So sometimes we'll be going live, you might not know about it. So if you hit that notification bell, you're going to know all the time when we're going live and what we're going live with, just so you know. Sorry, Sharon.
No.
Sorry.
So yes, pop back and look at that. But it really is very, very simple. And this is certainly something you're going to be using a lot on all of your cards, I would say. It's something I'm going to keep handy.
Yeah, for everything you do in the future, it's amazing,
yeah,
isn't it?
Absolutely. It's just one of those. Love to polish that up and get some real dimension. And of course, if you go in with your ball tools, you're really going to get some nice shape to that as well. Love all this sort of filigree around it. Of course, you don't have to use it as it is. You can snip into it, use the flower on its own. Love the corner element. Love the colourways of these and how these all tie in together. And of course, because these are double-sided vignettes, you've got the choice. You can do 2 shoes. You can have a pair of shoes. They look really nice actually if you do 2 shoes with the handbag kind of nestled between the two. So really, really love this design. Now, what flower is this? Tell me.
That's the anemone. I know it. It's the anemone. I never know any of the flowers.
I know, I'm terrible at remembering. And it's funny because florals are my favourite thing. But
Oh,
I never remember the names.
I just have no clue. I have no clue. But yeah, I know for a fact
This is
that's
the
the anemone because it looked like a daisy and that's why it stuck in my head.
Love the way the colours tie in as well. Like you've got the purple in the centre of that ties in with the bag, and just the whole design of it. I personally could not walk in those, but I do love
should
pretty
get a pair
shoes.
and do a little race. That's something that we should be doing. Miss Taz is sending me a message on a piece. I was reading it. Sorry, I got distracted. I got distracted. The squirrels came. Sorry, Sharon.
I'll move on to the next one, then you can work that out. So this one, another beautiful selection. You've got these lovely, lovely heels here. This time the handbag's in a nice red. You've got the lovely corner flower element, different flower this time. Again, you've got the elements to layer this up, which I really love. And of course you can mix and match these. This flower also looks lovely if you want to pop that on top of the shoe as well. So you can really play around with that. Different style of handbag. And again, of course, you've got your vignettes double-sided, so you can have a pair of shoes you can flip and do another one as well. So that's absolutely beautiful. Next up, this is the sort of shoe that I could walk in. The heel on this is really pretty. Again, you've got your corner element of your floral. This is a lovely, lovely design. Personally, I'd be layering up these flowers and really going to town with them because I just love those. Love this bag here, and you can even see on this board here, this has been curved and it's just so realistic. It's got such dimension to it. The way the artwork is just amazing, as it always is. But love the way that the florals sort of tie in with the bag, and you've got that design there. But yeah, go in with your ball tools and you're really going to get some real realism to that bag. Just beautiful. I really love the colours in this particular collection. The perfect papers are just amazing.
Yeah, Taz keeps saying it reminds her of mulled wine.
It has got that richness. Yeah, really, really warm, rich colours. Now this is an essential, I feel. Really simple, but just one of those tuck-in elements that just absolutely brings your card to life, because it's the dimension that you're going to want to create. And these are great for tucking in, great for creating a real sort of fan and a background to your cards. So this is another essential. This looks beautiful if you want to go in and add some sparkle to it. Go in with your glitters, go in with your sparkle pens, anything like that, your shimmer pens, give it some dimension. You've also got a matte layer for this, so that's really, really handy to sort of build that up if you want to.
Really gorgeous if you do it on a white background and you cut that in mirror card.
Or mirror, yeah, that would look lovely,
really
wouldn't it?
Pretty,
bit of sparkle, bit of shine. Yeah, absolutely. Another one that you would use with other collections as well. And here is my absolute fave, my berries. You've got the 3 colourways of the berries, and you can see really clearly on the red and the purple this crystally glitter frost. And it's funny, when I saw this collection, actually I saw this, I was up in the office the other week, Nick showed me it on the screen, and the first thing I was drawn to were these berries. There's something about that lovely crunchy glittery frost on them.
It makes my teeth go funny because all I can think about is biting into them and how cold they'd be.
All the frosty, I was absolutely drawn to these, and I'm going to show you, when we get to demo, I'm going to show you some ideas for sort of enhancing that look. So you've got your 3 colourways. You've also got these gorgeous leaves that coordinate with them. You've got your mats as well, so if you want to... The mats are really useful because depending on what you're building up your card to be, sometimes if you've got something behind it, a mat's useful to just... so you don't lose the...
Yeah, because then you can sort of start making that the showstopper, can't you? Because it becomes the thing that's raised the most.
Brings it forwards, doesn't it?
Just to give you a really good idea.
Oh, wow, look at
Isn't
that.
That stunning?
That's beautiful.
The berries are really strong in this collection. There's something you're going to use again and again. What we talked about yesterday, obviously, was things like your crystallized wisp and your facet sprays as well, and how they come together. But these are just knockout, aren't they? Yeah. So beautiful.
Yeah, love this design as well with the sort of...
That's the eyelet and ring die. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen that in real life. No.
The eyelet and ring die set is one of my favourite nested. In fact, I think it probably is my favourite nested. That and the crystalline and the shabby nesteds. That is stunning.
I love
Stunning.
the shape. I've got a bit of a thing about wreaths. If I can make a wreath out of anything I do, it's a bit of a something I go back to. So the way that these curve round just really appeals to me.
On that note, which is something that Sharon might not have had a chance to play with yet, I will just say when you've got all of these berries, you've got the leaves and you've got the facet spray, they will all work with the wreath maker. And with the wreath maker card shape as well. So either of those, you will be able to use those as tuck-ins for those. So again, we expand on the collections that we've already got. So grab your wreath maker while you're cutting these out, cut some extra, grab your wreath maker and start playing with that as well, because you can make some beautiful winter wreaths too.
Yeah, love a wreath. So
I'll take that one for you.
There you go.
Sharon.
So that's your beautiful, beautiful winter berries. This is another beauty, isn't it?
Isn't it gorgeous? The crystallized wisp.
Crystallized wisp. And I love the artwork. It's so delicate. It's just barely there, but it just adds that little bit of colour to it.
They look embossed or debossed, don't they? When you put them in white and you put them on a white background, it makes it look like you've done something to the card shape behind it. Thank you, Taz. Taz is just saying, for any of you, I'm not supposed to mention things without giving you numbers and things. I'm sorry. Your eyelet and ring, thank you, Taz. She keeps me in process. Eyelet and ring is on the website, which is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk, and it's on 211024. And your wreath maker is 210731. And that again is on the Carnation website. Miss Taz is choking a little bit in the corner, if you can hear some coughing.
Poor Taz.
Poor Taz is having a moment in the background, bless her. So we'll let her recover. But yeah, it's all there on the website for you, so do again have a look. Do we know what the deal of the day is today?
Have a look.
I always like to have a look at the deal of the day. I like to know what we can get
for
cheap. But sorry, carry on. The crystallized wisp.
Crystallized wisp, yeah. And again, it's one of those elements that you can use to create your shape. It's a lovely tuck in. It's just got that lovely flow to it, and of course you can flip it, use it the other way. So it's just great. Works really, really well with that pop-up element, because it gives you instant height to your pop-up. So just a really useful, beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing.
So that's all of the boards, but we've got one more thing, haven't we? We've got our ovals.
I love these. I love these. That I say it so many times, but your nested are your most. Well, you tell me what you think.
Absolutely,
they're most used, aren't they?
Every time I do any show with nested dies in, I always say you can't have too many. I've got nested dies that I've had since 2004, and I still use them on a daily basis. And that was going back. There were only a couple of die companies at that point. I won't name them, but there were only really two.
Yeah.
And they were really expensive, because when the technology first came out for dies, I've got a nested set of about 6 circles, and I think it cost me about £60 or something back then. And they're just plain circles.
Funny, isn't it? Weird always talks about that.
Yeah. The price when the technology was new was horrendous. But I'm still using those on a daily basis, and I just think, well, they were worth the money. I've had my money's worth out of those. And you can't have too many. And I love the way that you've got the 2 different shapes here, because these centre ones are just ideal for your sentiments. There's something about popping a sentiment on a nice oval that really works, and usually fits in so nicely with the rest of your card design. You've got a lot here as well.
There's 28.
How many do we have?
28.
Yeah, which is a great amount.
I tell you what these would be great for. You see how you've got these here? Can you remember the cameo pictures, the little cameo pictures that were done? If you were making a card and you were to have somebody's photograph in there, and to do one behind and then use the other. So if you use the large one, then say that, so it creates a border and have a photo behind it.
Yeah,
would be lovely.
That would be lovely. And I love the fact that these are in a great sort of couple of mil increment. So if you want to create frames with them, you can. You've kind of got a size for anything you need, any card size you want. Great for creating your card fronts. Look at that. I mean, that is just so beautiful. And you can see here this frame has been created by running 2 through together. It gives you that frame, and this is with the perfect papers. So you can probably, I don't know if you can see if I tilt it. It's got some lift on it. It's got some foam tape underneath, and I just love that. It's really subtle, but it just frames the whole image really nicely, doesn't it? So
gorgeous.
These are everyday essentials.
Yeah, they are. They're your toolkit, aren't they? So just to let you know that they are 221210 on the website. If you want to get your concentric oval die set, that's where you obviously put your number in to get it. But you can just type in oval, oval die set. It will show you all the different ones. But definitely the way to go. I've got Vera here saying, I'm on doing another wreath card and using these berries. They're beautiful. Vera, they're just stunning. I love it when we get things from Carnation and we all know instantly that's the one I'm just going to keep using, because it's just ace to have that, isn't it? Lovely way to play with it. And I think the florals and the berries and all the things that Carnation have brought us over the past, where there's so many of them and we can play around with them. I really still want to do a massive long wall frame with all the florals from Carnation in a different way. I'm gonna, at some point, I will find the time and get that done. But Miss Sharon, who came with an arsenal of things in her toolkit this morning to make things glisten, is going to show you some ideas for changing those berries and working on those berries. So thank you, Vera.
Yes, that was, as I said, the first thing I was drawn to when I saw this collection were the berries, and I just thought, oh, really, there's so many different things you could do with these. So what I've done is I've got 3 sets here in white, and I've got a purple one as well, just to show you a variation. So I'm just going to show you some different ideas for adding sparkle to them, because I wanted to carry on with the white frosty theme, but there are different ways of doing it, and it depends what you've got in your stash. So the first thing I'm going to do, and I've forgotten my quickie glue pen, which is a good start, so we will improvise.
It's not something I've got quickie glue, I'm afraid.
No, I always forget something when I come up here. We'll be going in with just the everyday glue instead. So what I'm going to do is cover my berries. I have got some that are dry anyway, so we can go to those.
You're so fancy.
So the first thing we're going to do, I won't do all of them because I have got one already dry and done. So the first option is just some nice crunchy glitter. Just white glitter. You're going to laugh at my little tubs, aren't you? I keep all my embossing powders and glitters in these tubs with a little spoon because it just makes it easy. And I knew Carla was going to laugh at me for being a little boffin with all these things.
She did say to me this morning, "Oh, I've brought things, and you're going to
take the mickey out of me."
I would not. I would.
So that's white glitter, very plain white glitter. But I think this is my favourite actually, because it's got that kind of crunchy look to it. And if I bring in one that's already dry, we can see that it just...
Pretty.
It's not too opaque, so you still see the artwork behind it, but when it catches the light, it's got a nice subtle shine to it. So that's normal glitter. Then the next one I've got, which I'm going to do the same thing with, is some Glamour dust. And Glamour dust is more iridescent.
Is it still a glitter?
It's still a glitter. It's more of a fine glitter. There were a few brands of this back in the day actually that had different sort of tones to them. We had like one with a very pinky tone, one with a blue. This one is just very iridescent. Again, I've got it in my little tub.
Because I'm the clumsiest human in the world, I once had a major disaster with glitter, and I've never really worked with it since.
Did you knock over a whole thing?
Well, you see how you've got yours in a Tupperware?
Yes.
Yeah. Somebody asked me to help and look after what can only be described basically as a bucket of glitter.
Oh. And you had a little accident.
You can't get that off a carpet.
No. Gosh.
Did I kick the whole thing over? Yes. Was there any left in the bucket? No.
Oh dear.
Was I still finding it 5 years later? Absolutely.
That is my worst nightmare. And you saw how quickly I put the lids back on those, because if you knock those over, there's nothing you can do but hoover it up and lose your glitter, isn't it? Because you can't put it back in the pot. And the last thing is I've had this one for years. This is German glass glitter. And it's something you might have in your stash. Like me, I've probably had this pot about 10 years. So if you've got anything like this in your stash, have a play with it. This is another brand that I found. This one's glass glitter, it's pearl. And with the glass glitter, it's more subtle.
Is it chunks or
It's
is it
literally,
still glitter?
it's chunks of glass. So you do have to be
Wow.
careful with your fingers. It literally is glass. I think this one is kind of more subtle. It's got more of a pearl finish. This one's got a little bit more of a glassy sprinkle to it. But it does give you quite a vintage look because it really is vintage. It's kind of a Victorian thing originally.
Right.
It was used way back. Victorians, when they were doing scrapbooking things, that was what it was used for. So it is a really old school thing to be using.
That's so cool.
It is gorgeous, but because it's so chunky, you're going to need to use something like glossy accents because glue is just not going to hold it. You need the good old thickness of the glossy accents, and what I would do is cover your whole thing with glossy accents.
Pam's saying she loves her Glamour dust.
It's really sparkly, isn't it?
I've got to tell you, it's the first time I've heard of it.
Ah, I'll give you some. I've got some more at home.
No.
More things.
It's the whole glitter. The
Oh yes,
the clue,
that's true.
The clue
yes.
was in the title. No. Morning, Carol Hart. Are you okay this morning, Carol?
You can kind of hear from when I put that back in how crunchy that glass glitter is.
I think that's such a great idea.
It's just a completely different look. I'll bring in the ones that I've already done to show you. So we'll do the ones that are all fully done. So we've got, so that's your normal glitter. Quite subtle, sparkly. The Glamour is the most glamorous, as you would expect. Because it's got the iridescence, it's really sparkly. And then the glass glitter is really crunchy. Quite opaque though, so you kind of lose a little bit of the detail of the artwork, but it's got that crunch to it.
So you've almost got rain, frost,
Yes.
snow.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's like full on snow, isn't it? And of course with the purple and red, you don't have to cover the whole berries because the artwork is kind of just along the tops. So with this one, I've just gone in with the first glitter just at the tops of the berries. The other thing that looks lovely is just go in with your glossy accents all over, because that's going to highlight the artwork that's already there. So
right, Miss Tam.
so
Right, Sharon, you have to leave now.
I knew I was going to get stick for this. So yeah, different ideas anyway, because you're going to have so much fun with these berries.
Yeah, they're stunning. I think any way that you can play, and we're all different
Yeah.
crafters, aren't we? We all craft
Yeah,
in different
absolutely.
ways. We all do different things. So I think, this is the joy of having Sharon. This is what I was saying from the very beginning, is bringing on a different crafter so you get a different viewpoint just from mine. It's important because you're seeing it play out in a different way. It's all very well, me sitting and giving you a load of demos, but I craft in a certain way. And so, that can become, you might want something different. So it's lovely to see Sharon doing it. Carol says it's cold. She just got back from walking the dogs. Carol, you need to get some slippers on your feet. It's very cold.
It is cold.
Because, like I said, my wheelie bin was frozen shut this morning.
Yeah, it was -4 when I left the house
What
this
time
morning.
was that this morning?
About 6 o'clock.
Oof,
Yes. Yes.
No. All of the no to that. Yeah, it's very, very cold.
I knew it was going to be freezing, and I did even think we've got a porch that isn't heated. And I thought when I went to bed last night, I'm going to put my coat and my boots in the lounge and not leave them in them because they're going to be freezing when I go into the porch this morning. So I did think ahead.
Right.
Yes.
Before Sharon goes straight into that demo, I do just want to remind you, because this is the last show we've got today. This is the last live show on Carnation Crafts TV for the Glamour of Winter. So this is the last option to use your 10% discount code. So the main collection is under the number 221201. That is the whole collection. It's got a normal price of $162.92. However, we're bringing you a show price of $124.99. But please do use your 10% discount code, which is GOWCC10. I think you do need to do that in capitals, GOWCC10. That's on the checkout page of the website, which is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. I can't tell you what to do, but I would strongly advise that if you're putting that main collection into your basket, to add the perfect papers to it as well. So you've got the whole combo. exactly as it should be. Please do remember as well that you get an extra free colourway for this collection as well that Carnation are giving you. If you're ordering this today, you can go onto the website now and start downloading those vignettes, start getting them printed out, and it'll all be ready and very exciting when they arrive. I'm pretty sure some of you will already have this. I think some of you should have had it delivered either yesterday or today. I know post's a bit funny at the minute, isn't it? But yeah, you should be certainly getting it probably today, tomorrow. So just so you all know. Right, okay, Miss Sharon, demo.
Yes. And I'm going to do a DL shape because what I love, you know, as someone that's been watching your Facebook lives for ages, I love the variety of the card shapes that we can create, and it's nice to have a mixture. So I thought we'll go with a DL. So I've got my card blank. You all know what this one is. I have no idea.
That's your scalloped edge.
Scalloped edge.
I believe. It depends which card shape it was from originally. It'll either be a nested scalloped edge. I think it might be the petite DL. I don't know. I'm not going to say
lovely,
I know for definite because I don't know for definite. But yeah, that's probably
it is a lovely one.
Can I just point out as well that because Sharon is here pretty much, you know, as a guest, and I was on my best behaviour, not only did I hoover this morning, but I also gave Sharon a clean mat.
Yes, look at this sparkly mat.
As opposed to mine yesterday. So you all know.
Sparkly fresh mat. Yes, so that's my card blank, and obviously this is from the 350 GSM, which is just perfect for creating your card blanks. And then I've got some matte and layers in the Perfect Papers. So we've got 2 of those. I love this purple shade. I used to have my hair this colour actually.
Did you? It's beautiful. Is it mauve?
I would say mauve. It's a
got that
lovely heather
yeah,
mauve.
it's like a muted lavender.
It's a lovely
almost,
muted tone, yeah, which I love. So this is going to be my first layer, and with this one I'm just going in flat with double-sided tape. And I love
the fancy wiggle you do with your pokey tool.
the...
That's exciting.
Well, when you've got fake nails on, it's quite hard, isn't it?
Oh, it's such a relief to have nails again, Sharon. I
bet, yeah, because when you've got the stick-on ones, they do just ping off when you're doing stuff like this, don't they? Now I can get the back off this with my nails.
So I gave Sharon some of my foam tape so she could have a go and see what she thought. So
I
Sharon,
love
live,
it.
what do you think?
Love it.
Do you? It's
Love
a game
it.
changer, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Sizes.
It really does make a difference, and it's nice to have the different
sizes.
This one, I think, is this a 3 or a 5 mil?
That's a 3.
3. You're the expert on this. And I've yet to get the knack of putting these on without putting my head right over and blocking the camera.
You can't really on here. I think we explain that to you often enough. We can't get it necessarily entirely straight because the camera is literally above our heads. So
yes.
As soon as you put your head forward, you blocked every part of the view. So we do have a little bit of wiggle room on here, just to let you know that's why.
Yes, if my matte and layers look really, really wonky, that's why. I know last time I did one that was like, whoa.
That's the little bit of vodka she had earlier.
Yeah, that little shot I had.
We did not, Deborah, you know we did not.
That's how I wake up in the morning.
And I've got this beautiful, beautiful intricate detail here. So obviously I'm going to add some height to this so that I get that shadow. So I've gone in with the foam tape on this as well.
I'm pretty sure that is the petite DL, you know. I'm not 100%, but I think it is.
It's a beauty, isn't it?
So many of the different names, and I can't remember my children's names most days. So
no, I'm terrible with names. It is lovely to have these though, because it just gives such a...
The filigree that you get from Carnation is like none I've seen before, and believe me, Sharon and I are surrounded obviously by different craft stuff all the time. It's something that we're embedded in. Can I just be really rude? Where you get these little beveled edges that sit on your filigree here, when you get these home and you have a go with it and just notice the difference of it, because Carnation's dyes are made of really high quality dyes, and so when you get that cut edge, it is really, really strong. I know that we've had people who have complained because they have bought what they think are Carnation dyes from China, from places like Etsy and stuff, and they get them and they say they're not fitting with the vignettes and they're not giving the crisp edge that you're used to with Carnation. The only way that you're going to guarantee that you're getting a Carnation die is to buy it from Carnation. That's either from them direct or when they're on Create and Craft. And we can't do anything about it if you've bought something from China and it doesn't fit on the vineyard. We can't. There's nothing we can do, and we can never verify the quality. Carnation Craft dies all have Carnation Crafts stamped into the metal on the back. It's debossed into the metal. Please do make sure you're using genuine items because you won't get the results. Just letting you know.
No, absolutely.
It's a frustration.
It's really frustrating, actually, and it happens to all companies, not just Carnation. It's just one of those things, isn't it?
It is.
So I'm going to build up a little floral corner, and of course the beauty of this being double-sided is I can go either way. I can flip it around. I can really play around with it. I think I'm going to start in this corner. I'm going to have a spray of florals here. So the first thing I'm going to do is give this some shape with my ball tool. So I'm going to go around the edge. I'm just going to follow the shape of the flower, going around the edge just to give that some curve, and then a little bit in the flower centre, and that instantly has just given that some lift. So
those corners are just...
They're beautiful, aren't
gorgeous.
they? Take the lid off, this would help.
I just think keep pushing until it flies.
It flies across the room.
This is why we don't... Elongated 2-frame. Pam Simpson, I love you.
Oh, wow.
This is why we rely on the chat, because they know. They
remember all the names.
They remember the names. Sorry, Taz. Elongated frame 2. Pam, I'm so grateful. Thank you.
It's a beauty, isn't it? I really like this one.
Yeah, it's stunning. It is absolutely stunning.
So I've got my layers for this flower, which are fabulous, and I'm going to give them a little bit of shape too. Not too much. I'm literally just going to scribble over the back with my ball tool lightly like that, and it's just going to give it some lift.
Do you know, I really love doing decoupage. It's something I never thought I would kind of get into.
Do you know, me too. I would have said it wasn't my thing, but
there's something about it, right?
It just really brings it to life, and I don't know why I haven't done it more, really. It's funny, isn't it?
No, because I'm the same. The first time I ever saw decoupage, I would have maybe been, I don't know, I'm going to go back and say I was 2, and I still remember having it. I had a tile that had Holly Hobby on it.
Oh, I remember Holly Hobby.
Yeah, her hat was decoupaged up on this tile, and I think it was a big thing at those times. And that's the first time I ever saw it, and I was fascinated by it when I was a kid. And then, obviously, I came into it with Carnation, and more I started to love it. It's just a really great thing. For anyone wanting to know the details for the elongated frame that we were just talking about, Miss Taz has been ferreting on the website and has found it for me. The number for it is 201005, and you'll find it on the website, which is carnationcrafts.co.uk. You don't need to put the W's in anymore, you know, Taz. Taz will know that. Sharon, you don't need to put the W's in anymore.
Ah.
And when you're going on a website, I'll tell you because she's too young, but we're old.
Yes, I'm even older than you, so...
You don't need the W's.
Ah.
It's not a thing anymore.
Sometimes you don't even really need to put .co.uk.
No, it kind of finds it really for you, doesn't it?
But would that not just take you to the search for it, or would it take you to the
search
site?
engine, but you'll still find the same thing. And then you can find varieties.
This is exciting.
Or you just do .co.uk/login and it takes you straight into your account.
Oh.
Is that true?
Yeah, if you type in .co.uk/login, it's a shortcut, isn't it?
Oh.
I don't know.
See, we
Young
rely
brain,
on Taz for all the young things.
So I'll just carry on.
I've got my lovely little background elements here, my lovely wisp, and I've only stuck this down at the bottom because I want that lift. And we're going to go in with some berries. And actually, rather than use the one I've done, why don't I bring in one of my glittered ones? Because that would be even more fancy, wouldn't it? Rather than a plain one. I've also got these two gorgeous leaves, and I love the fact that I can play around with which way round these are. So I think I'm going to pop these either side.
When I first saw these cards, because I usually get to see the finished cards, there's a folder that the DT put pictures of their cards in, and I got to see this collection on there before I actually saw the collection itself, and I thought that they had all collectively come up with the idea of glittering their leaves and their berries, and I was like, God, that's really fun.
They've all come up with the same thing.
Did it at the same time, and because it looks real.
It does look like real glitter, doesn't it?
But it is the artwork.
The artwork
clever.
is just so, and that I love the curve of these leaves because it just absolutely gives you a frame.
Isn't that beautiful?
And then for my berries, these are going to be kind of the focal really, apart from the flower. So I'm going to tuck these kind of here.
I love the, it's very, what's the word I'm looking for, Sharon? You won't know. Subtle.
It is, yeah. Particularly this card, because I haven't got many colours going on. And I tell you what I am going to add. I've got, and you're going to laugh at my little tray now, aren't you?
You've even brought a triangle. I'm so in love with the corner flower. I think I was saying yesterday, I think they're just incredible. You've literally bought a plastic triangle. You've bought a plastic triangle.
I have. It's got my little crystally things in. I didn't think to bring my pickup tool though, but we can cope without that.
I've got adhesive jewels. I only discovered these about 2 months ago, and it was only because of Wheeler.
Oh yeah, Wheeler likes
She likes
a little.
it.
Yeah, I like a bit of sparkle too.
I don't know.
Well, Wheeler loves any bling, doesn't she?
Yes.
Now these are all different sizes, so I want a kind
Wheeler
of...
had a very traumatic experience at the weekend, so she's recovering from that at the moment.
Is she?
Not laughing, Taz.
What was her traumatic?
Wheeler nearly ended up needing search and rescue.
No.
Yes.
Only Wheeler.
She will kill me for saying that. But Wheeler nearly... She came back and she told me that she was traumatised. She was nearly in tears. And she nearly needed search and rescue in the Peak District. I did not laugh. I did laugh.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, she is... If anyone, you would know that would happen to Wheeler.
She said, and all I could think was if I was on the news on search and rescue, people would be looking going, that looks like Wheeler. I was like, but nobody would believe you would be in the Peak District, Wheeler. It's fine. We'd just think you're a doppelganger.
No one would imagine Wheeler out. Or did she go in high heels?
I know. Bless her. No, I don't think so. Teetering around on some little logs and things. No, bless her.
Oh, bless her.
She said I did 27,000 steps. She said my watch kept pinging me. It thought it had been stolen.
Oh, that's brilliant. We love Wheeler.
I think that is stunning.
So really simple. Not many colours going on. I've literally just picked up the purple really. And I've gone with the white berries. I've kept it very subtle. But just that bit of glitter on the berries and a couple of little sparkles.
It looks like Christmas morning.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, really pretty. I just love the florals in this collection.
Absolutely stunning. Thank you, Sharon. You're so very talented. It's very, very lovely.
Thank you.
We just won't talk to her for the next hour while she packs up. She came literally with a suitcase of glitters this morning. It's very exciting. Linda says, was Wheeler wearing her trainers? She was wearing, actually, I think she was wearing walking shoes.
My goodness.
Changed. Wheeler's changed. That's all I can say. I think the thing with Wheeler is she will love having the outfits. So the buying of the outfits will be like her best day until she has to put them on and do something with them. So going walking in the Peak District, I think she thought that they were going to go on a little walk to find a pub. It ended up a hike up mountains. And it got foggy real quick. And they thought they were going to end up having to sleep. And she said, the worst thing about it, Carla, all I had was a packet of crisps and a can of pop. I thought I was going to die.
I could just hear her saying that.
Bless her. Right, sorry. The Glamour of Winter collection is 221201, and that's on the Carnation website, which is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. The show price today is £124.99. It is free UK P&P because it's over £50. That's the same for anything that you buy on the Carnation Crafts website. So if you spend over 50, you're going to get that free. It is different abroad. Certainly for the USA, if you want your full collection, that'll be $4.95 for your shipping and handling. If you're going to throw in the perfect papers as well, and we know that most people do anyway, it'll go to $14.95. If you're elsewhere in the world, if I could just advise you to maybe bob Carnation a message and they'll just explain the postage to wherever you are. Suzanne says that was a beautiful card, Sharon, which it absolutely was.
Thank you.
The other thing I'll say as well, because I think we usually get a little bit sort of bogged under with the details, don't we? And while Sharon's just setting up for her demo, the Carnation Crafts website, which is an absolute boon, is a shop. As in, I know you all know that for the dies and everything else, but it's actually a craft shop. So they sell cards, they sell your, like, obviously your pro print, your cut tiders, your ball tools, all of those things. But you can also get loads of other stuff on there as well. So you can get your gold leaf in different colours. There's all kinds of stuff on there. Go and ferret around and have a look what you can find. But the other thing, and a very important thing for a lot of us, if you're thinking that you would quite like to have some Carnation stuff for Christmas, but you want to wait for a new collection to arrive after Christmas, and that might be, you know, too late, please do remember that Carnation Crafts do gift vouchers. So you can go online, get a gift voucher for Carnation Crafts, so you can maybe say to somebody, you know, I'd quite like, I don't know, 5 or 10 or whatever, put in towards a Christmas present for me. If you can get me one of those vouchers so you can collect them all and then buy a collection after Christmas, it's an option for some of us. So just letting you know that. Are you ready, Miss Sharon?
I am.
How exciting.
And this is a card inspired by Janine, who is the
world's
most, we were just saying she is the most amazing
I think I said to you this morning that I think she's probably the world's best card maker.
Absolutely, yeah.
Certainly, and like, how many years have
so.
you been in the industry?
A long time.
Janine is the best card maker. Although everyone is saying that you made a beautiful card.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, she is. And this is a lovely design. It's an easel card.
We like.
So I've got my bits and pieces ready. So this is going to be the base. And I've got a little fold at the top here ready with the tape on. And then this is the easel part. So this is going to stick like so. And then my base is going to slot on there. So it's much easier to stick this on before I attach it. So what I'm going to do, this is the first layer. So I'm just going to peel the tape off of here and pop this on. And you can see I've got my score line halfway down so that this has got the fold ready, if that makes sense. So
you do your easel cards the opposite way to me.
Do I?
Yeah.
What would you do? Stick it on there first and then?
No, as in your easel's the opposite way around to mine.
That's probably just because my brain doesn't
No,
work.
I don't think it matters. Listen,
No.
if somebody's doing it backwards, it'll be me, I guarantee it. But I think it doesn't matter either way. It works the same either way. So it's just a case of sort of working out which way works for you best. I have to say, easel cards were the thing that frightened me the most when I started card making, because I'd never done one before, and it was actually Janine that showed me how to make an easel card. And I love them. I absolutely love them.
So I'm just going to line that up like so, and then that's my easel ready to go. It's hard to show on camera, isn't it? Because when you stand up, it's not so. So this next layer, of course, these are all the perfect papers. These are lovely sort of cream beige sort of tones that work just so well with the purples.
It's a really unusual colour. So the tone on this particular perfect paper, let me just pull this towards.
Would you call it?
It's got a cream, but it's got like a. If you were to look at it on the colour wheel, it would be somewhere between yellow and green.
Yeah.
It's not green and it's not yellow, but it'll take you towards those tones. So it's got the sort of cool green tone to it, but the warmth of the cream. So it's quite an unusual colour, but it's a beautiful colour. You obviously then get its lighter counterpart as well. So for those of you who don't know how perfect papers work, I know that we get lots of people every day watching news who have never seen Carnation before. The perfect papers they're taken from the colours that you got on the vignettes, which we were saying before. It's 300 GSM, it's not paper, but they usually do 6 colours and 3 of those colours will be darker tones. They will have 3 lighter counterparts to them. So you always get your perfect mattes and layers, but you can mix and match all of them. So they're really brilliant for playing. But they
these are kind of your neutrals really, aren't they? Which just work so well. So that's my base easel, and now we can go to town. So I've got one piece here that's got some foam tape on, so that's going to kind of be my stopper. So I can pop that there like so, just to hold that open. So we'll just peel the tape off, because that's kind of my starting point then. So, and I love the way that flower kind of fits just so perfectly to hold that in place. And then we're going in with the shoes. We're going for it. So now I've done for this one, I think this shoe.
So that's Wheeler's hiking boot.
Yeah, I can see Wheeler tottering around in that. So obviously the shoe's going to be the focal point. So I'm going to raise that up and then tuck in all my lovely elements. Now I think if I were to put the shoe like so, it might lose a little bit. It doesn't stand out quite enough. So having the mat just helps keep that the focal point. So I'm going to mount that on there just with a bit of, we'll go just with a bit of tape. Let me move that forward out of the way for a second. Pop this on here. Obviously if you wanted to, you could have a pair of shoes. So I'll just pop some tape on here.
I said I wanted Nick to make a slipper and bum bag range.
Yeah, that would be more like us, wouldn't it? Because you're tall like me, aren't you? See,
yeah.
I'm 5'9". I just
yeah, I'm 5'8" and a half essentially, so I'm not far off you. Miss Tiztaz is also tall.
Yes, yeah,
it's
all
like
3 of us are.
Land of the Dryads.
All 3 of us are like, yeah. I know, when I do shows on Crentcraft with Paola, I feel like the BFG.
I know. I feel like the honey monster when I'm standing next to Paola.
Petite.
She's tiny.
Yeah, she is tiny. And Leonie's short as well, isn't she? She's diddy. Yeah, it makes me feel...
Hells is only 2 foot.
Yes, Hells is tiny as well.
Hells is tiny.
There's a lot of short people.
Literally, you can put Hells in your pocket. She is tiny, tiny.
Yeah, she is. So I think I'm going to give my shoe a little bit of shape. So I'm going in with the big ball tool because this is a big element. And I'm just going to go around the edge. Not going crazy with the dimension, but just to give it a little bit of shape.
Love that. That facet spray. I'm so in love with that facet spray.
It's really just such a useful thing, isn't it? It's one of those things that I think I'm going to be using on lots of different cards. So I'm going to pop that there. And then I can build up in the background all the things. So I'm going to give all of these a little bit of a shape as I go as well. And I've got this gorgeous, gorgeous floral spray which has got the layers. So I can't resist going in with a bit of the decoupage. So this can go behind. It doesn't have to be a corner element, and of course you can snip into it. But I'm going to tuck it behind. So I think we'll have this lovely wisp in the background. So we'll just pop some everyday glue on there and tuck that in.
That flower, for anybody wanting to know, is the clematis, the winter clematis.
I'm glad you remember all the flower names.
I don't, I just leaned over to have a look at the back of that so I can remember.
I am terrible. There we go. So that's going to be my first background piece. And I'm going to give the flower a little bit of shape.
Do you know, standing here and watching you demo on the monitor in front of me, it completely blows me away when I see Carnation stuff come together. It's so, the colours, because obviously when you're demoing it, you don't see it so much, do you? Because you're sort of busy doing
you're
what
concentrating
you're doing.
on, yeah.
But watching it all come together on the monitor, it's like watching magic, isn't it? They're so pretty.
I just love the detail, and the fact that you've got your.
It looks like a bird.
It does, doesn't it? It's just so beautiful. And the way that they're designed, the dies are designed so that when you shape them, they just look so real.
Have you enjoyed sort of the process of
Absolutely.
learning with carnations? 'Cause
Really.
obviously it's different
Yeah.
to stuff you've done in the past.
Very different, yeah. And having the artwork just
I know, right?
absolutely
Changes the game.
changes it. Now, I haven't put that straight on because if I tilt that slightly, it looks like I've got more petals going on. So I'm not doing this probably as you're meant to. I've slightly offset it so the flower looks fuller.
There is no meant to. There are
No,
no craft
that's true.
police. You do you.
And I just think that looks even more real. So I'm going to give the berries a bit of shape as well.
That colour on those berries is extraordinary.
It's beautiful, isn't it? And as you say, that artwork with the glitter, all this icy, just absolutely. And these just give height as well. And I'm going to pop some of these leaves in the background. I'm just going to shape these by hand.
I love those leaves. There's something chunky about them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love the way the collections all work with each other.
They're nice playmates, aren't they?
They would go. They would look really well with the autumn.
Yeah.
The autumn sort of stuff as well. You know, this is very wintry, but actually these leaves are quite autumnal, I think, as well.
Yeah.
So
Colour of Autumn, and that book that came out with the Colour of Autumn collection as well. Just bringing it all together. The whole thing with Carnation, I think that's the point. You could do a whole seasonal book coming, you know, where you went through the seasons with the dyes that they've got, and just the different. I'm going to talk to Nick. I've got a favour to ask to Nick, but he will just look at me. But I really want him to do a moon gazing hair.
moon gazing.
Yeah,
hair,
you know, when
yes.
their hairs are looking up and their ears are down their back. I want Nick to do a moon
There's something
gazing
lovely
hair.
about hairs as well.
Yeah, there is. I love hairs. So we're going to beg him. Linda Wilson is saying this is stunning, Sharon.
Oh, thank you. So I've just snipped the bottom off of those berries because I'm going to tuck them just there. So don't be afraid to snip into these. You don't have to use the whole thing. And there we go. So that's gonna.
That is.
It doesn't
stunning.
show so well on camera.
So
There we go.
if you can turn that the other way so it'll face the camera, Mrs. Taz will
get a good
show
look at it
from the other angle.
There we go.
Beautiful. That's so pretty, Sharon. Do you want to just hold on?
There we go.
Can we see that if I put it?
We shuffle along.
There you go. Just so you can see the both of Sharon's makes so far.
So
I think
far.
we will have time for another demo, but I do just want to just talk to you about the individuals because it's something I haven't spoken about today. We obviously talk about the main collection and everything. I'll just say, first of all, everything is available on the Carnation Crafts website, which is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk, so that I don't need to keep saying that bit. The main bundle, which is everything you see in front of you on the screen there, other than the cards that have been made, we can't send you those, is the Glamour of Winter collection. It's £124.99. It should be and will eventually go back up to £162.92. So it's a whacking big saving on it anyway, but there is a 10% discount code today, which is GOWCC10. That will need to be in capital letters. It does have a free colourway with this. You get both. But I'm just going to run through what you've got individually because you don't need to buy the full collection if it's something that you maybe don't have the pennies for at the minute, or if you just want to select certain bits and bats from the collection. We've got the Crystallized Wisp. You know it's one of my favourites. I absolutely love it. It is so pretty. It's one of your background pieces. You've got your pop-up mechanism. That's the one I think is going to sell out because obviously everything Nick does when it comes to that kind of thing is just beyond clever, and we need it in our crafting tools. You've got the frosted oak card shape, which is just heartbreakingly pretty. You've got the deep winter foliage. That's the berries that we were looking at earlier and the leaves. So everything Sharon was showing you at the beginning of the show, that's your berries and your leaves. You already know that there's 3 colourways for your berries, your reds, your whites, your purples. At the bottom, you've got the facet spray. Beautiful piece. That on its own is just an absolute corker. Then you get your 3 sets of winter shoes and corners. So you've got your winter clematis accessories. Then you've got your winter honeysuckle accessories. And then you've got your anemone accessories. That is not easy to say.
It's
Anemone
not.
accessories.
Anemone.
Everybody at home, say it with me. You've got your anemone accessories. So you can get all of those individually. You don't have to buy the full bundle if that's not something that you want to do. You can go onto the website and buy those separate pieces. Just as a extra shout out to the concentric ovals, which is a completely different set, by the way. Your concentric ovals are a set of nested dies. It's not part of the main collection. It is separate, but you do get your separate types of ovals in there. You've got your larger ones and the more squat ones in the middle. And that is a completely different thing. But again, nested dies always your most important. So before Sharon goes on to do another demo, I'm just going to give a shout out to the DT team and show some of those finished samples because they're exquisite. We did have a look at this one earlier, but I love it. Pam, this is one of yours. It's so pretty. I've used that as an example every day that we've done this show. It is just absolutely gorgeous. Mrs. Taz is telling me to do this. Is that right, Miss Taz? Do you want it there?
Because you're wearing black.
Is the black putting it off?
Wow, isn't that lovely?
That's stunning, isn't it? And again, using sort of glossy accents there as well. So that is one of them. This one, which I just think is just so pretty. That's Vera. Vera was talking to us earlier about playing with the berries and the wreath. I'm so hopeless at this.
You're better than me. Poor Taz.
I don't make her job easier. Actually,
she's drawn the short straw getting us to, really, hasn't she?
I don't make her life any easier, but I do cook for her occasionally, so I think that makes up for things. Hold on, let me just go through. I'm making sure I don't pick up my own. Barbara Treadwell's.
That's very pretty.
Isn't it gorgeous? Am I in the right place, Taz? Am I moving?
It's fine.
That's beautiful.
Isn't that stunning?
Love the corner elements. They just work so well, don't they?
And the reds as well, isn't it? Because it's so rich and so vibrant. I'll do a couple more and then we will get to demo again. I love that one.
That's very pretty.
Barbara again. Beautiful, right? See how we're starting to bring the crystallized wisp in to extend your card shape?
Just creates the shape,
I
doesn't
can't
it?
sit still. I've got the frozen shoulder. But it's absolutely stunning, isn't it? Really, really pretty. Using the corner element at the top of the card. If I just turn this around so you can see the back of Barbara's workings there. So you've got the shoe elements here. That's your mats and your layers. And then you can see the corner element that's been attached at the back. And that's how we make a bespoke card shape. Do all your workings at the back. Then when Barbara has put the stand on the back, what that does is hide your workings. So it makes it very, very neat, very, very tidy from the back, but it means that you're in control of what you're making. You're in control of those card shapes. Always great to have a play weight that way. Karen says that was a beautiful card. Pam says, thank you. Pam, you know you're one of my heroes. I think you're amazing. I think the whole of the DT is amazing. And I still stand by the fact that Carnation Crafts has got the strongest DT team in the industry.
Definitely. I would agree. I would agree.
Miss Sharon.
Yes.
Are you ready to play?
I am.
Are you playing with my favourite?
The lovely oak leaf, yes. I mean, it's just such a lovely card shape, isn't it? And I love the way that we've got different card shapes to play with. It's just such a nice feature. So obviously this is cut from the 350 GSM, cut twice, and then a score line about 1 inch down. So I'm just going to take off this red line tape, which always sticks to you nicely when you're trying to demo.
Find it in your jam of bottoms and all.
You just find it everywhere, don't you? And because this is a funny shape, I think the easiest way to line this up is literally to just
you sort of shuffle it.
Shuffle it, yeah. It's not exactly like a square where you can just line it up with the bottom of your mat, but that's perfect. So that's my card blank. And then I've got this lovely sort of mauve colour as my mat. And this has just got double-sided tape in, so we're just going to go flat with this one.
Well, Sharon's just sticking that on. I will just let you all know I will be live on Sunday. We've got a brand new launch again next week. It is knockout.
It is. It's quite...
It's got one of the most unusual card shapes I've ever seen.
Yes.
I'm not allowed to say anymore. I probably shouldn't have said that. But, you know.
Yes.
I'm always in trouble anyway.
It's another exciting one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now for this, I want it to have a bit of movement. So I'm just going to glue down the centre just to hold it in place, because having that bit of shadow, and I'm going to give it a bit of shape.
I love that leaf. Suzanne Page says the DT team are all so talented. Suzanne, you are not wrong. Please do remember, if you're in the Carnation Crafters Facebook group and you see a DT card, it has to be the DT cards. You are more than welcome to copy those designs if they've been done for the shows. You're more than welcome to use them as an education process.
So I've got a sentiment stamped on an oval here, and I'm going to think about where that's going first, because you'll obviously need to leave room, and I am terrible for creating my whole card and then thinking, oh, where am I going to put my sentiment? So for once, I'm going to actually think about it before I start putting everything else on.
Squashing it in somewhere.
Yeah, like, oh dear, I haven't left myself enough room. And for this card, I'm kind of keeping it simple with the colours again and sticking with just a very simple colour scheme. This is going to be my sort of starting point, and from here I'm just going to go up one side. There's no point using this beautiful skeleton if I then completely cover it. So I want that to be visible. So I am going to keep my sort of elements just to this one side. So the first thing I'm going to do is give this a little bit of a shape. Just at the top, just these little berries. That's far too big for that leaf. Just for these leaves at the top, and then I've got foam tape on the bottom. So that's already got the dimension. There we go. And then from there, I'm just going to follow the shape around. So we'll start with some of these leaves.
The pop of colour of those leaves on top of that purple is extraordinary.
It's lovely, isn't it? And they just break up because obviously you've got a lot going on in the background. If I went straight in with the berries, it would kind of be a bit too much. This breaks it up a little bit. I am going to just snip these shorter, because when you're tucking in, you don't need the whole length. And it kind of makes it easier. I haven't got to tuck it in quite so far. So I'm just going to follow the curve. And again, I'm going to snip the stem off. Make my life a bit easier. This one I'm going to keep flat because it's going to go behind this one. And I'm just following the shape. Then I think we will have a bit more dimension to the main flower. So I'm going to pop this one on top. Bit of decoupage, like so. And then these two I am going to pop on top. So we're going to go in with the berries next, like so. I'm just putting a little bit of a curve on. You can see I'm not being really fussy with it. So that lays lovely on there. And I'm going to have a couple of these. I want some sort of real height to this side. So we'll go in just around the edges so it's got some curve. You can see I'm not touching the leaves. I just want the berries to look round.
Pam says, message for Taz. Can you please turn Carla's mic up? I struggle to hear what she's saying. Sharon is perfect. Most people try and turn me off, Pam. Most people try and mute my mic.
I've done that deliberately.
I think, you know, Taz. I think Taz wishes she could turn me down in real life.
I've done it, so if they can just let me know.
She says she's done it, so if you can just say if that makes a difference or not. I've got cramp in my foot again.
There we go.
That is stunning.
I don't think we need any more. And I'm going to pop in, just here, I'm going to pop in these two flowers. So I'm going to give them a bit of shape. And I haven't stuck down the sentiment yet because I wanted to make sure.
I'm just being summoned over to Taz's corner so she can check my mic in case it's me that's wrong. Is my mic off?
It was muted.
Was it?
We were hearing you through Sharon.
Oh, you were hearing me through Sharon? Oh, it's like the film Ghost. I should be back now, guys. I was muted.
So you can see I've gone with 3 of everything, and that is kind of my go-to. It really does make a difference. Go with odd numbers when you're adding your elements.
It's the rule of 3, isn't it?
Yeah, 3 or 5, because if you go in with even numbers, your eye wants to kind of line them up and make them symmetrical, and that's not a good thing in card making. Generally, I mean, there are occasions you might do it.
Pictures on walls, don't they, as well? If you're putting pictures on walls, always
Yes.
put in threes.
And that can tuck just nicely under there. So I've left a good amount of that lovely skeleton leaf showing, but then we've got that lovely design following the shape of the card. So there we go.
That
Card
is
number 3.
stunning. Absolutely stunning.
These flowers are just beautiful, aren't they?
Yeah,
I
they
really
are.
like these. This is the clematis, isn't it?
Mhm.
Really love that.
I think so. Yes, it is. Oh, I'm so hopeless with flowers.
I am.
Absolutely gorgeous. The thing is, as well, you know, we always do say, and it is true, and this is not taking anything away from what Sharon has just done, you can't make a bad card with Carnation anyway. So when we do the demos, it's easy to do the demos because Carnation make it easy to make cards. What I think is more important to remember about Carnation than anything else is a beginner can come in having had no experience and make something absolutely stunning. But for those people like the Janines of the world, the Pams of the world, who are really experienced card makers, there's still a challenge in Carnation stuff as well. You still get both elements and you're still going to come out with some incredible stuff. Always gorgeous to have. Everyone's saying that that is beautiful. Karen says it, Suzanne says it, and then I've done something funny to my laptop. Carol also says gorgeous. As for the muted mic, that was me that turned it off. Apologies, not Miss Taz, despite her, you know, desire to do that anyway. But it was me that knocked it, sorry. So yeah, you know, the whole collection for this one, I think is just, do you know what I think? There's something really peaceful about it.
Yes, there is.
It's like you could, you know when snow's just fallen and the world goes
like
silent.
a crispy, winter morning when you're out early and there's no one around. It's got that,
I tend not to go out early on a winter morning. I'm just saying,
Me too.
if I can
but
help it, rather not.
yes, it has got that feel, hasn't it? That peaceful.
Have you got
feel.
time for one more?
Yeah.
Are you doing it?
Yeah.
You're going to do it. So just before Sharon goes, just to remind you the number for this, because this is probably one of the last shout outs I'll do. This is the last live 10 minutes or so that we've got left for this collection, certainly on the Carnation Crafts TV channel. So this is 221201. It's $124.99. It is free P&P. There is a 10% discount code. That's GOWCC10. There is a free set of additional colorways for you. You need to get those from the Carnation Crafts website. That's your vignettes that you will download. If you're in any doubt how to do that, please do go to the YouTube channel and watch the launch part 1 with Mr. Dave Bradford. We go through everything on there with you, how to use everything, and there is a full demonstration of that pop-up mechanism which you have all loved and for obvious reasons. So everything is on there if you need it. So Miss Sharon, it's the final countdown, girl.
Yes, and we're going to go in with the bags and shoes for this one.
Exciting.
So I've got an oval card blank from the 350 GSM. Usual thing, score line sort of an inch or so down. I've also snipped off a little bit off the bottom here so that the back lies flat. It stands up nicely. So I'm just going to peel off that red line tape. Now I've got my nice little flat bit there, so I can use that to try and make sure that's straight. Ooh, there we go. Kind of straight. Near enough.
Near, give or take.
Near enough. So that's my card blank. And then I've got some lovely mats and layers here. Look at these colours. Again, the sort of mauves. So this is a lovely light shade.
Those colours would be beautiful for Easter.
They would actually. They've got a bit of a spring feel to them, haven't they? Yeah. Yeah, because sort of lilac is one of the colours you would use for Easter, isn't it? This one's very beautiful. So that's there.
Miss Taz, are you just coming up with lovely ideas? Did you just say that would be like an egg and then you could have a chick with the pop-up?
Yeah.
For Easter?
Oh, yes.
That would be
it would,
so
wouldn't
cute.
it? So for this layer, I've got the lovely dimension with the foam tape.
I love that. Look at that. Impact. Instant impact.
Then we're going back in, because I'm going to have a lot going on here. I've got a nice, I think this is the blush card I've got here for this background.
Blush card is a certain type of card that Carnation have, and there's 3 of them, so you can get the blush rose, the blush blue, and the blush natural, and they're all white cardstock, but they have a hint of a tint.
Just a hint.
So it gives you kind of a warmth or a cool tone that sort of glows off the card. So it's a different type of cardstock to your normal smooth cardstock, just so you know.
So I'm going to build a bit of a scene here. I've got 2 of the skeleton leaves, and I don't know if you can see, but I've gone round the edge with some glitter. I just used a quickie glue pen and that white crunchy glitter. So all I've done is scribble around the edge with the quickie glue pen, dip it in the glitter.
You're so fancy.
And it just gives it a bit of sparkle. And I've got 2 of these because I thought it kind of makes a little bit of like a fan in the background. And then we're going to come in with shoes. I've got a shoe and a handbag, and I've done mats for these because I'm thinking they might need to be separated from all that going on in the background.
I love that that's the device that we've got.
Yeah.
But if you feel like you're losing the image, and it does happen, you know, if we, you can sort of make things. The thing is, sometimes it's lovely to have a really busy card, but in doing that effectively, you can lose some of the detail that you get. So to be able to have that mat where it raises it makes such a difference, doesn't it?
It does. It's nice to have that ability, really. So I'm just gluing these. As before, I'm literally just going down the spine of the leaf because I want these to be fairly loose. Then my shoe's going to go here. I've got a sentiment as well, so I've got to think about where I'm going to pop that. I'm thinking maybe the sentiment this side. I'm just going to work that out before I start sticking everything down. And then I've got some lovely berries to go in. And for this one, I'm going much more stronger colours because we're going to bring in the red and the purple because we've got the red and the purple in this shoe. So this isn't quite as subtle as perhaps some of the other cards I've done. This one's going to have a bit more of a pop of colour. So let's pop these on first. And I think we are going to need these mats just to make these stand out nicely. So I'm going to pop the shoe there. The handbag I'm going to tuck behind, like so. And I'm using my pin flare so that I've got a little bit of wiggle room.
Just before you go any further on that, just to make the point that we were making before about making your own bespoke card shape, if you do that at home,
yes,
glue those together, and do it twice, that's your bespoke card shape.
Yeah.
You just need, if you did it twice and scored ½ an inch on the top and put some red liner tape on, then you put your bag and your vignettes on top of it, that would be your bespoke card shape. Sorry.
Yeah, that would be lovely, wouldn't it?
It's just when I see, if we've been talking about it earlier and I was trying to badly explain it, if I see it there, I may
It's
as well.
easy, yeah, it's easier to explain then, isn't it, when we're actually doing it. So for the shoe, bit of a curve just along the centre, just to give it a bit of shape.
They're stunning, those shoes, right?
They really are, aren't they? And I just need a bit more pin flare. Just put that in there. I've gone through so much. I filled this up before the show and I've
Pin flare
going crazy with it.
It's your best friend. I love
it really
pin flare.
is. It's just nice to have that wiggle room because it does take a while. You know, even with glue, really it sort of grabs within a few minutes, doesn't it? Yeah. Whereas your pin flare, you can literally change your mind.
And you can tuck stuff behind. You can almost steal the pin flare for other elements as you're going through the process of card making.
Absolutely. Now my sentiment we'll put the sentiment there. We've got some tape on that.
I thought you were so organised. You're more organised than you thought then, Sharon.
I was, yeah. So we'll pop that up here, like so. And then I feel like I need something underneath this shoe here. It looks a little bit floating in midair there. So I think if I just popped perhaps that way, like so. It just grounds that a little bit. And then I'm going to go in, these have got some glitter on. I've just gone around the tops of these with the glitter. And we can start to tuck these in. Now my handbag's gone for a little bit of a slide there. And then I've got this space here. Again, I don't want to cover up too much of that lovely skeleton background because it's got glitter on, but I can just frame my elements. And because I've got red on the shoe, I'm going to bring in a bit of red. And we'll pop that up to the side here.
Those berries are a gift, aren't they?
They really are. They've got a lovely curve to them as well, so they kind of fit in wherever you want them to. And we'll have some leaves. I'm going to frame this sentiment a little. So we'll come in here, like so.
Gorgeous.
And then perhaps we'll have some purple. One more.
I think when you look at things like the leaves and those sort of things, it's what draws us back to remembering that this is all, you know, in-house artwork. Because suddenly you look at it and go, that, you know, they're so stunning. You cannot get that kind of stuff just by, you know, using sort of stock imagery. So when it's done in-house, you get that real treat and they become quite regal looking.
Absolutely.
That is absolutely gorgeous. You have made some corkers, Sharon.
Thank you.
You've been very busy.
I have.
You've been very busy. It's quite weird when I get to present and not demo.
Yes,
it's
you're...
sort of a sit here and like have a nice time. It's very, very lovely. A massive thank you to you and your company. Sharon is going to be back with us very soon. When am I on? Taj, write it down for me. Saturday the 10th at 10 o'clock with Say No More. Is that in here? So I'll be back with the CC Studios. A lot of you have seen Say No More and you absolutely loved it. It is stunning, obviously. If you already have it as well, please do still join us and we will do you some demos on that in here. Then on Sunday I go live with the Facebook Live for the next launch. It's crazy, isn't it? The card show is insane.
You're going to love it.
If you thought the Magic Fireplace was good, wait till you see this. It's incredible. Right, on that score, I am going to get going. Please do remember, Glamour of Winter is on the Carnation Crafts website, www.carnationcrafts.co.uk, and it is on a special show price today of $124.99, I believe. There is an additional 10% off if you use the code GOWCC10. There is a free colourway for you for this collection. This is our last live show in Carnation Studios for the Glamour of Winter. Everyone that we've done so far can be found on the YouTube channel, which is Carnation Crafts TV. There is another YouTube channel called Carnation Crafts, and that's got all the tutorials on it. So you can go to both of those, subscribe to both. In the meantime, we will see you very, very soon. Sharon, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We will see you next week.
Yes, next week.
Okay. All right, guys. Speak to you soon. Take care till then. Bye.